Welcome to Heathen's Garage. We're working on the Desoto this time for real. On the last installment here, we were working on these brakes. We just pulled them off and I needed to find some specs and... Do you know you're interrupting? Anyways, I wanted to find out if I needed to get new shoes or what the story was and what availability of parts is and that kind of thing. And I have mostly good news. The good news is spec for brake drums, drum shoes, brake, the material that does the stopping, the spec for that is a minimum of 1.6 millimeters by out of province standard, which is what we care about currently. We've got almost 3, so we're good. We're set on the lowest one, it's almost 3, and we got like up to 6 on some of them, so we're good as far as brake shoes go. Now the bad news is when I actually stuck a flashlight on this thing, then I realized, hey, we don't have much for brake lines left. Like they're like new, but they're also like old and cracked up. So we gotta find brake lines, but that's not the end of the world. Our step today is to get the rears pulled apart, because if you'll remember, I said, oh, I need a special tool and I don't have one. We have since acquired it by virtue of borrowing it from my lovely wife, so we're gonna get to that now. I immediately didn't have the tools I needed because we're in the garage, not the barn, so now we're walking out to get the tools we need. Luna, isn't that a bit cold? Just laying there in the snow? If you're cold, it's cold where you are, you can get yourself one of these Heathen's Garage toques. Or a Heathen's Garage hoodie with the Jeep on it. They're at heathensgarage.com. Links in the description. So here is our tool in question. You need one of these if you're going to do brakes on a Desoto. Or like any Chrysler product from pre-1960 something. Alright, knock out the cotter pin. You find the socket that you went out to the barn to get, wherever you put it. We don't know if this is left or right, so we're just going to take her easy. It's definitely left. Like, no, it's definitely normal, and I turn it left, is what I mean. Okay. That washer off. Now what there is here, this part, would you be quiet out there, train? What you've got here is you got threads sticking out. And the end of this threads is actually the end of your axle shaft going into the axle. Now this comes apart like a Ford 9-inch. It's a Chrysler, probably 8 3/4, I think. Anyways, it'll come apart like a Ford 9-inch, except different in lots of ways. But it's the same design. You don't have to open up the center section to get the axle out. But what you need to know is the thread sticking out here, they stay behind. This thing is gonna go on there, and see it's got this threaded bit in the middle. It's gonna push on the axle shaft and pull on the drum. Because what's under here is a cone-shaped thing, and the drum has a hub with a female cone-shaped thing, and they go like that. And there's a keyway, and you know, it's probably better if I just pull it off and try and show you instead of explaining it badly. Alright, now hopefully you guys can sort of see what's going on here. It's basically a 3-jaw puller, but slightly different than that. Now you want to try and get it as centered-ish as you can, and then you tighten this thing down. You go get yourself a big hammer. These threads are going to push on that axle, and they're going to pull against this drum, and then the whole thing will just... But you beat the snot out of this to make this happen. There it is. Something happened. Oh, no. It wasn't something good. It was something bad. Oh, no. Well, now I've bashed the threads up bad enough that it's going to be a problem later. I didn't realize it was moving to the side. That's what was happening there. Let's try that again. There we go. That's more centered. We'll do a better job of keeping an eye on it this time. Also, if you wanted to avoid what I just did, you could probably leave the nut on part way until it breaks free. That would likely go better for you. Oh, that sounded promising. That sounded like the noise. There it is. See how that works? Off you go. Yeah. Look at it. What a drum. And we don't even have a leak in here. We got shoes that have tons of life on them. This is great. Look at that, hey? Everything's dry. And the shoes are in okay shape. We're going to be in good business here, I think. Alright. So we've measured this thing up a bit. It measures 34 mil. I can't remember what it's allowed to be. Hopefully that. It's got no real scuffs in it. It's smooth. It's clearly just been machined before it was put on. Like it's just, that's the way that it is. It looks like the thing got a full brake inspection, got machined, and that's how they rolled. It does have one little scuff in the middle, but it's pretty minor in the scheme of things. Other than that, I don't know what to say. Like there's no cracks in it. So we're going to give it a quick shot of black paint and we'll carry on with life. Now, one thing to note for the purists, I did read that when it's got left-hand threads, you're actually supposed to paint this little hub part red and the rest of it black. But I don't want to have to look at that, so it's getting all black. There. Now it's black. That looks better to me. I guess we can knock the other one off now. Now, as you can see, this has been untouched for a long time. Hey, buddy, what's this? Are those cobwebs, Elvis? What do you think? Want to come check it out? Do a closer inspection. That's a good boy. Yeah, just right there. Cool. Anyways, this has been not taken apart for a long time, as was the other side. So we're just gonna buff it off quick. By buff it off, I mean wipe it with the rag. And we'll show you the way that I should have pulled the drum on the other side, which is, you see this nut? I've loosened it, I've pulled the washer out, and then it's just threaded on there flush with the end of the axle. So there's still a good 1/4 inch where this can come forward. Now we'll spin this guy on. We'll get it squared up a little better this time. And then we won't bash up the end of the axle like we did on the other one. Oh, but first we're gonna back this out all the way. Are you really bored today, Elvis? You were just, oh, careful, pal. You're thicker than you think, Elvis. You're thicker than you think. Oops, daisy. That one popped easy. See, if it's lined up straight, everything pops easy. Off you go. How about that, eh? What do we see? We see a whole lot of freshly machined drum. Shoes that look fine. Thanks, Elvis. And a whole bunch of cobwebs. Isn't that great, buddy? That's the brakes inspected. Gonna clean this one up and give it a paint job, and clean the front ones up and give them a paint job, and after that we just put it back together and, you know, hoping the next guy sees it the same way I do, because he'll be the one signing off on the paperwork, not me. This is probably the best part of any brake job, is just getting to make the rusty stuff look less rusty when you're done. I'd like to point out that this is alkyd paint, whatever that means, and it has superior corrosion resistance, and it restores and protects metal. Restores it, you know. For those of you that are concerned that I got paint on the inside of the drum where it's supposed to break, number one, calm down. In one brake application, that's gone, okay? It doesn't matter. But because it also drives me crazy, because it just feels wrong to contaminate your brake surface, I will show you something. While the paint is tacky or still wet, you get yourself some liquid fire, starting fluid, ether, brake clean. There's probably other stuff that'll work. You put it on a rag, and you just go like this. And then all that paint that you got on there, it's gone immediately. That's all it takes. Just a quick, look at it. See that? See, these ones I did already. These ones I didn't get much paint on, but you can just wipe it right off. Now you use quite a bit of ether, so make sure you got like a can, half a can, if this bothers you. But like I say, it will be gone in one brake application, and it doesn't matter. But also, some of us go crazy when we see paint on brakes. I just happen to be one of those people. And it's like, I understand that it doesn't matter, but I can't help but care. I don't know. I know I'm not the only one. There's somebody else there that bothers this. Ooh, those aren't all words. I should open a window in here. Now, while I was waiting for paint to dry, just happened to start thumbing through an issue of Cruise Culture magazine, and look at that, eh? Does that dog look familiar to you? The one right there? How about the car? You seen that before? That's in your August issue of Cruise Culture magazine. You could probably pick up a copy. They've got back issues for sale if you go over to cruiseculturemagazine.com or cruisecultureapparel.com, or I'll put the right description in the thing. But anyways, it has been a while since I talked about Cruise Culture magazine. You should go there and check it out if you want to check out a cool YouTube channel, or you want some merch, or, you know, you just want an actual in-print car magazine that's got some high-quality paper, and most importantly, it is tactile and in your hand. And just, like, it's really good, you know? Well, that brings us to reassembly time, which for that, basically, the old clean and dry is your friend situation for both the shaft and the inside of this. Now, I have in the past put copper coat or anti-seize on it. I don't really think you're supposed to, because the goal is that it sort of sticks to this and doesn't move, but I have done it. I would say nothing went wrong. Now you have to line up, there's a keyway in there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a keyway in there. You got to line that up with the keyway on here, and apparently that's very difficult today. Set it on top, put this on top. There we go. Now we're making headway. Maybe what we need is a rubber mallet here. Maybe what we need is a metal mallet and a hockey puck, because I can't find a rubber mallet. I don't even play sports. I've never played hockey before in my life. Why is there a hockey puck in here? You know why? I live in Canada. Everybody has to have a hockey puck somewhere. Why I have one? I guess just for moments like this. Maybe I was doing a lift kit, who knows? Very handy though. Alright, we're gonna zap that tight. There's a real torque number for that, and I would strongly recommend using that. I don't know what it is, so I'm just zapping it tight for right now. Like snug enough that I know it won't be a problem, but not so snug that something will go wrong. At least that's the goal. Of course, like, it's pretty rare that you do something so something will go wrong intentionally, so maybe that's always the goal. That isn't how I like putting cotter pins in, but whatever, I guess it works. When you're doing fronts, it would be pretty typical to repack the wheel bearings at the same time. Like, that would be pretty standard operation. However, given the state of the grease in these, as in it's brand new, I would say these were packed right before she was parked. Like, I have grease that would work, but this is more better grease that's in it than what I have. So we're gonna let it ride for right now, because grease is not old, it's not wore out, and there's no reason to repack it. Also because I'm lazy. Now, there's about 1,000 different ways to do this. My favorite way is to tighten it down, spin it around, then back it off. But for this present second, what I'm doing is making it finger tight, backing it off, and calling it good. Hockey puck's more useful than I gave it credit for. You can actually give that a pretty good smack and it's not denting it. So that's pretty cool. Now there's a rough spot there that needs driven out, that's all. It needs some miles put on her. Which hopefully we're gonna do, but not for a little while. Well, what do we think of that, hey? That looks a little bit nicer, doesn't it? There, look at that. That looks a little better, doesn't it? It's all nice and shiny and black. Well, it matches the other one. There, that one's all nice and shiny and black too. That'll be it for this episode of Old Heathen's Garage. I know we didn't really accomplish very much, but you know, sometimes the old life gets in the way of accomplishing lots of things, and that's just the way it is. On the plus side, I don't think we need to buy much for brakes other than hoses and lines, so that's a pretty good thing to take away. Thanks for watching and subscribing. We'll see you next time. We got lots to do. Don't you worry. We're not running out of content anytime soon. Bye.